Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the Hockey Podcast News Pack, a late night edition, Tuesday, January 11th. You can, of course, follow us on Twitter, podcast_hockey, Facebook.com, the Hockey Podcast, YouTube.com, the Hockey Podcast, as we go through the news of the day. Of course, if you missed our episode yesterday, you can check that out for a couple of things. First of all, the word of the week is on the podcast for an opportunity to win tickets for the scheduled game between the Vancouver Canucks and Calgary Flames at the Scotiabank Saddledome in April. An opportunity to get to and from the game, some pub with the Pig and in contact with the pub, the Pig and Duke, food and grub there, and tickets. So listen and watch for that podcast to get the word of the week. Retweeting our pod clips, podcasts, all of that stuff also gets you an entry into it as well. And the second thing that we talked about yesterday is this is the final week that we are going under the name The Hockey Podcast, as we are unveiling a new bit relaunch, rebrand, a bit of a retool. We'll announce that on Monday, January the 17th. So we are not going anywhere, but this is the final week under the name The Hockey Podcast. As this is a late night news edition, I did have a news pack set up earlier, but some news came down, so it wasn't. Wanted to make sure that this was up to date. I'm recording this shortly after the Florida Panthers defeated the Vancouver Canucks 5-2. The Canucks' first loss under the Bruce Boudreau. That tough road trip will continue as they're off to Tampa Bay on Thursday. The Florida Panthers continue to be a dominant team, one of the number one teams in the National Hockey League. But we'll get into that. We'll touch on some other stuff as well in the news of the day. And one of the news of the day, I want to start with the Canadian Women's Olympic team has been named. They will play their first game against Switzerland on February the 2nd. They're in Group A with Canada, United States, Finland, and the Russian Olympic team. And the gold medal game is scheduled for February 16th. So watch out for that. Led by, of course, probably the most clutch goal scorer in the history of hockey, Philippe Palant. She scored the game-winning goals in 2010 and 2014 Olympics. She scored the game-winning goal in overtime in 2021 IHF Women's World Championship last August. So she will be captaining the team. So we'll go through the forwards on this team. Here we've got Brianne Jenner as well, Emily Clark, Sarah Fillier, Melody Dawu, Natalie Spooner, Blair Turnbull. If you remember, she got injured in that game in August in the gold medal game and was celebrating from the stretcher. Rebecca Johnson, Jamie Lee Rattray, Jill Solner, Sarah Nurse, Laura Stacey, and Emma Maltese are the forwards. On defense, we got Jocelyn Larocque, Renita Fass, Claire Thompson, Erin Ambrose, Mika Zande Hart, Ashton Bell, Ella Shelton, and then the goaltenders are Anne Renee Desbiens, Emmaris Mashmere, and Kristen Campbell. As that is the roster. There was a couple of the final cuts on this team here. There were the final three, we included Victoria Bach as well. And just get to here. Victoria Bach, Megan Mickelson, and Kristen O'Neill were the final ones. Were the final cut downs. Very close, according to all reports. And as well, probably the most surprising is Bach, 25 years old. She is considered a young offensive star, highly ranked. She did play actually much of the Worlds on that line with Palant and Jenner, but maybe not consistent enough. And hopefully she'll have an opportunity to play World Championships and Olympics for sure going forward. Coached, by the way, this year the coach of the team is Troy Ryan, and he coached the team to last year's Worlds, the gold last year, and Gina Kingsbury, the director of the Canada's women's national team, will be behind the bench as well. So that all starts for the women on February the 2nd in Beijing. They depart on January 26th. They will enter, of course, a controlled environment, and we hope for safety and all the best of luck to the Canadian women's team. In terms of the NHL, Ken Holland spoke to the media today. I think three things came out of this conversation here is whereas the Oilers were in first place coming into December in the Pacific Division. As of right now, they are not in a playoff position. They are sitting 2 points behind the Calgary Flames, who hold the second wild card position, and the San Jose Sharks have passed them. And last night, with the Kings' 3-1 win over the New York Rangers, also passed them and are sitting in third place. If the playoffs started today, it would be the LA Kings playing the Anaheim Ducks in round 1, and the Edmonton Oilers would not be there. Holland says that there's first thing he said that there was no one was going to be fired, basically saying that Dave Tippett is safe at this particular point. He also said that the solution is in the room. Basically, he said it's either in Edmonton or Bakersfield, that there's no trade necessarily on the horizon. However, he was asked if they've been in contact with Evander Kane, and he said yes. And according to, of all sources, Tim Peel, he is reporting that the Oilers and Evander Kane are close. Rick Dollywell talked on Donnie and Dolly today about that Evander Kane will be narrowing his list today, and the Edmonton Oilers will be high on that list. So it is looking like a possibility, strong possibility here, that we could see Evander Kane in an Edmonton Oiler jersey very soon. Now, we talked about this on the podcast last night. There's, of course, the NHLPA has filed a grievance on Kane's termination this weekend with the San Jose Sharks. So I would think that would have to be settled before Kane gets signed and is able to play, because you cannot have two contracts. So we'll have to they will figure that out, I'm sure, here, but it's looking like Evander Kane could be with the Edmonton Oilers very, very soon. And now in Detroit, a significant signing in the management side, Nicholas Lidstrom was named to the vice president of hockey operations of the Detroit Red Wings. He played all 20 NHL seasons with Detroit, which is no different than what Steve Yzerman did. He spent his entire career with the Detroit Red Wings as well, the general manager. He will be involved in all aspects of the team. Of course, he won the Stanley Cup 4 times, 1997, 1998, 2002, 2008. Highest scored defenseman in Red Wings history, 1,142 points. He won the 2002 Conn Smythe Trophy. He scored 183 points in 263 Stanley Cup playoff games, and retired in May of 2012, and won the Norris in 2001, 2002, 2003, 2006, 2007, 2008, and 2011. He's a member of the Triple Gold Club with the Stanley Cup Championship, IIHF World Championship, and he won gold medal with Sweden at the Torino Olympics. And we think of a guy like Moritz Seider. Can you imagine already the high talent that Moritz Seider is at with Detroit, having a guy like Nicholas Lidstrom that you can sit and brush your tail with and improve your craft? That will be great for him. So the very big signing and big signing in terms of a management position for the Detroit Red Wings as Nicholas Lidstrom joined today. As well, as this recording here, you get Evgeny Malkin is making his season debut tonight for the Pittsburgh Penguins in Anaheim against the Ducks. He had surgery back in June. He has been skating and practicing for some time here. He was he's been practicing since the end of November, and he was on the first power play unit in practice with Sidney Crosby and Evan Rodriguez, Chris Letang, and Jake Gensel. He practiced Monday on a line with Jeff Carter and Kasperi Kapanen. So earlier today, Malkin was considered a game time decision, but he is playing tonight. Evgeny Malkin playing against the Anaheim Ducks. So now all of a sudden, the Pittsburgh Penguins, who some had left for dead earlier in the year, have got Crosby back. They've got Malkin back in a very, very tough and competitive Eastern Conference and Metropolitan Division. So don't look now, but the Pittsburgh Penguins will be causing some trouble for sure for teams in the Eastern Conference going forward. Jack Eichel was on the ice today for the Vegas Golden Knights. He skated with his new team for the first time. He, of course, was acquired back on November 4th from the Buffalo Sabres in a trade. He had neck surgery on November 12th. He's really raring to get going, but he's taking the Sunday Knights play tonight against the Toronto Maple Leafs. He's was in a non-contact jersey, so there's still some time to be there, but Jack Eichel is finally on the ice and is inching closer to his return. He hasn't played since March 7th, so he's almost going over a year without playing in a competitive National Hockey League game. So can't help but be very happy for Jack Eichel as he has returned. He's getting closer to his return there as well. The All-Star coaches have been named today. The All-Star players will be named on Thursday, as it was the Florida Panthers' Andrew Brunette has been named, as well as Jared Bednar from the Colorado Avalanche, the Vegas Golden Knights, Pete DeBoer, as well as Carolina Hurricanes' Rod Brindamore were named as the coaches for the All-Star game. And we, of course, have that coming up in February, mentioned here as well. And the teams will be named on Thursday. We'll have a late news pack because we'll make sure that we'll have that in there. The game's on February 5th, and we will see all of those players there. And as well, just touching on some WHL news here, and just any other news here. Tuukka Rask does sign a 1-year contract with the Boston Bruins before we move on to the WHL. He hasn't played since June 9th. He had a PTO within the American Hockey League Providence team. He was informally practicing with Boston in early December, but he has signed a 1-year deal. And Rask, it's unsure when Rask will make his first start. But he was supposed to play some games with Providence, but they were postponed due to COVID protocols. Providence released him from his PTO earlier, and the Bruins did sign him. So Tuukka Rask is officially a member of the Boston Bruins again. Couple of other things here. In terms of the WHL, there was another trade to announce. The trade deadline is coming close here. The Calgary Hitmen have traded their captain, actually, Jackson Van de Lees, to the Red Deer Rebels. He's 20 years old. In exchange for Blake Stevenson, Trey Patterson, and a conditional second-round selection in the 2022 Prospects draft. 235 Van de Lees, 235 regular season of playoff appearances with Calgary. 79 points, 9 goals, and 70 assists. He is from Kelowna. He was the 16th overall pick in the 2016 draft. And he's basically, it's always, General Manager Jeff Chanel says it's always difficult to trade your captain, but they wish him the very best. And so that was a trade. No other news in terms of any COVID protocol updates. Of course, 15 teams, including the Hitmen, have had games postponed and activities paused this week. So we're still waiting for some words on that. Tomorrow, of course, the CHL rankings come out as well. So we'll see who's in the top 10 and not there across the league. We'll also touch on the latest of the news tomorrow. Reminder again, our word of the week is in Monday's podcast. So check that out. We are preparing for the launch of the retool on next Monday, January 17th. That will be live Monday, 6:30 Pacific, 7:30 Mountain. And we're excited to launch that portion and the beginning of that era. Of course, you can follow Sean Beardy Canuck 03 on Twitter. Chris Schneid's SCHNAIDZ. Tyler is TNOBLE. Devin Gordhow09. I am KEVOLE. Podcast_hockey. Facebook.com the Hockey Podcast. YouTube.com the Hockey Podcast. And of course, subscribe to wherever you get your audio. And that is the news for today, a late night edition on Tuesday, January the 11th. And we will talk to you all very soon. Bye for now.